If you weren't the principal and executive vice president of Equinox Hospitality, you'd be...
I would be two things. I'd be hopefully on Saturday Night Live doing some funny sketches, or I would be a rock star, musician, play the guitar.
Favorite way to unwind?
Favorite way to unwind? I enjoy comedy and I love music. So the hybrid is the ultimate, I think.
Aisle or window?
I like to walk around, stretch a little bit, so I'm a big aisle guy. I'm also a hotel guy, so I don't like disrupting people if I don't have to. And if I have to get up and being by that window, that can sure annoy people. So yeah, I like the aisle a lot.
Rank these in order: comfy bed, strong water pressure, good lighting.
That's a great question. I would rank number one, a comfortable bed. It's important to get a good night's sleep, be ready for the next day. Water pressure, two, because nobody wants to go to a meeting looking rested, but with shampoo still in their hair. But then also three, not too distant of a third, but lighting. It's good to, when you're shaving and getting ready in the morning, to make sure you hit every spot and you don't look all sort of ruffled up and not ready to go.
What was your first job in the hotel industry?
Well, my first job in the hospitality industry was when I was 16. I worked at a place in San Francisco called Noah's New York Bagels. So for the New Yorkers out there, it's not really a boiled burger or a bagel, but it was my first time in food and beverage and sort of working with guests. Fast forward a few years later, my first hotel role was I worked at Starwood at the front desk at the W San Francisco.
What's the worst complaint you can receive from a guest?
The worst complaint I received from a guest, I had two actually. One was potentially a deceased body, and that ended up not being deceased, but that was quite a scary moment. And then the second was having to kick out some very intimidating looking athletes. And so at the overnight crew when you work at the hotel, being a 160-pound, fresh out of college manager, that can be a little intimidating as well.
Do you write reviews of your stay if they're good?
Yeah, you know, you hear typically in the hotel industry that most times guests are vocal or when they're complaining. However, I've always believed in recognizing people when they do something amazing. And in this day and age, you know, it's very important because things are so bottom line driven. So when someone does something sweet and simple, I certainly like to make a note that there should be some shared recognition and they should definitely be recognized. And I think it encourages future hospitality professionals to, you know, aspire to higher places in their hospitality career.
If they're bad?
I usually, if it's a restaurant or a hotel, don't write a review or really even make much noise about it. I typically just don't go back in the future, and my actions in that regard speak a little bit louder than my words do.
What one amenity do you always want in your hotel room?
My favorite amenity by far is bottled water. I'm a big believer in being hydrated, and when you're on the road, boy, it's not a good thing when you start to feel a little bit dry. So having bottled water all around me, that is my big thing.
When making travel arrangements, what's more important, brand loyalty or convenience?
I'm a big guy when it comes to convenience. I think sometimes it's nice to have brand loyalty. However, you can only be so loyal. And so if it impacts your day adversely or your meetings or your schedule, convenience is very important. So at the end of the day, if you're traveling for work or on vacation, time is a very valuable commodity, and I think that's one that a lot of millennials actually focus on too.
Airport hotel for convenient departure or in the city for a convenient meeting?
When I think of airport hotels, I think of high occupancy, get you in, get you out. I'd rather have that hotel in the city and maybe have to get up a little earlier in the morning to get to the airport, but have that better night's rest, have that sort of fun experience, you know, the ambiance. So certainly the city over the airport. Plus, nobody likes to hear a jet plane going over their head at 2 in the morning.
What's something you indulge in when you travel for business?
When I travel for business, at the end of a long day, I typically will develop a little bit of a sweet tooth. So depending on the property, I love to have something chocolatey or even sour gummy. That's my Achilles heel.
If you could start all over again in this industry, is there something you'd do differently? What?
You know, I think I feel very excited about where my career has led me to today, and things happen for a reason, and in hotels, sometimes you only get one opportunity at it, and rain or shine, I'm really kind of happy with how things have panned out, so I don't know that I would change a lot. I've had a very diverse, fun career, especially when it comes to hospitality, and I look back on it with a lot of positivity and good memories.
What's the most important element to creating a work-life balance?
I think you really got to make a concerted effort to, spend time with your loved ones, your family, and your friends. In hospitality, sometimes the hours be quite long, and so you end up spending more time with people you work with than your own family or friends, which is very important to have a good relationship with them. But plugging out and also just enjoying the sweet, simple moments of life, not just in hospitality, I think that ultimately makes you a better person and a happier person, and in hospitality makes you more warming and welcoming to be around. I'm Adam Suleman. I am the Principal and Executive Vice President of Equinox Hospitality.